Mr. Janak Madhukar.
පරිභෝජනය කිරීමේදී ඇති වූ තත්ත්වයන් අත්දැක බලමින් කෝපි භෝගීමට තරම් ශක්තිමත් වී තිබෙනවා. ලෝකය හඳුන්වනවා. ඒසේ හඳුන්වනවා.
This coffee festival is no ordinary coffee in Sri Lanka. Began to our hill country during the British rulers. But as we lost disease in the
අනුහන් කරමින් ශ්‍රී ලංකා ඉතිහාසයේ තුල කෝපි අපනයන භෝගයක් ලෙස ස්ථාපිත වී වසර 200ක කාලයක් සැපරීම මුල් කරගෙන මෙම මුද්‍රණය අද දිනේදී හඳුන්වා දෙනවා ඇති. ඒ සඳහා සම්භාවනීය ආමුත්තන් සියලු දෙනාමින් වේදිකා මණ්ඩපයේ රතු පළස මත එය පිළිගන්වමි. උත්සවශ්‍රී සඳහන් කරනවා. प्रथम स्थानीय साविंद्या सेहंसा महामाया बालिका विद्यालय महानवर साविंद्या सेहंसा මුදල් ත්‍යාග ඒ වගේම ඔවුන්ට දිරිගැන්වීම් සහතිකපත් සියල්ල සඳහා අනුග්‍රහය වර්ල්ඩ් විෂන් ආයතනය අපි නැවතත් ගෞරවයෙන් සිහිපත් කරනවා. හොඳයි ඊළඟට WA සදනී යතුම් සහ වීරසිංහ මහාමායා බාලිකා විද්‍යාලය මහනුවර ඊළඟට ඕචි අකින්තියා නෙල්මානි ඒකනායක මහාමායා බාලිකා විද්‍යාලය මහනුවර සහතික ත්‍යාග ලබා ගත්තේ පළමු ස්ථානයේ සවින්ද්‍යා රෙහන්සා දෙවනි රන්දිව් සජේන්ද්‍ර දොම්බේ විද්‍යාලය කොළඹ ප්‍රථම ස්ථානය මහනුවර දෙවනි ස්ථානය දෙවනි ස්ථානය W පහතවත්ත ශ්‍රී ස්වර්ණජෝති මහාවිද්‍යාලය බණ්ඩාරගම
being made public in front of all these stakeholders that are present today. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause please for the Department of Export Agriculture and Australia's Market Development Facility.
It's wonderful to be at this event where I can see you all work together and see your purpose. So, judging by the speakers that we've all heard from today, I would like to say that National Coffee today looks certainly so as it wasn't always this way. I think that's probably some population that resulted and plus they can say
2010 සිට ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාවේ මාකට් ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් MPF ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ කෝපි කර්මා ගොඩාක් කෝපි 2400කට වඩා ලින්ක් වලින් සේවකයන් සඳහා ඔස්ට්‍රේලියානු ඩොලර් 10 මිලියන 1.9කට වඩා මේ විශේෂ කෝපි විශේෂකී විවිධ පුරා පවුල් අගාර ප්‍රමාණ විශේෂ කාන්තා නායකත්වයේ සහ පවුලේ
When I got this invitation for today, Sri Lanka Coffee Festival, I actually wondered what it is. Today, with the last 1 hour, I learned a lot about Sri Lankan coffee and how it was grown. So to me, it is like rediscovering something that we have had before, or finding our family member who went missing some time back. It was like, what I understood today is that the initial coffee story in Sri Lanka lasted less than 50 years. So rediscovering it is a huge step, in my opinion, in the direction. We all know that out of the 3 most popular drinks in the world, water, tea and coffee. Coffee is the most popular drink served in hot. That I think it overtakes water and tea in that department in the world. So it is coffee, the story of coffee I think began about 600 years back in Africa. I remember seeing the famous movie Out of Africa starred, I think it was the most award-winning actress Meryl Streep was there. Years back somewhere in Canada, I watched this movie and that sort of gave me some introduction to coffee industry in Africa. Although it started in Africa, I know that currently Brazil is the largest production of coffee in the world and Vietnam also comes pretty close. And today I was surprised to hear that at the time of starting in Sri Lanka and in the first few years, we were also one of the world's leading coffee producers at that time. But now unfortunately, we have to restart it and grow it. So the efforts of Department of Export Agriculture and the Health for National Bank and other industries and FDM especially is extremely welcome, especially as the government of Central Province where this whole coffee story began in 200 years back. So although the history of coffee is 600 years in the world, it took 400 years for it to come to Sri Lanka. Although we had 400 years of, or rather 500 years of foreign involvement. Portuguese came here in 1505. 500 years of foreigners in this country, but it was the English who conquered the whole island in 1815, gave us the coffee plantations about 10 years after they conquered Canada. So coffee, I know, is served in various forms. When you go to a coffee shop in the West, when I ask for coffee, they ask 10 different questions. What type of coffee? So we have to know a lot about coffee. There are so many varieties. They say espresso, cappuccino, coffee latte, all kinds of things. So those are very different tastes. Coffee can be produced in different tastes, and I just saw that even local Sri Lankan cultivators know about that, and they know that coffee can be produced in very different tastes. So that it shows that the education has gone down to the local cultivator in our country also, which is very heartening to know. I think I thank all those who have done so much to do that to the local level. All of you, I thank you very much for spreading that word among the local market and local producers. So I noted that although we export coffee, the earnings by our exports is very much less than the amount we spend for coffee. The difference is about 1,000 million rupees, is that correct? 1,400 we spent for imports and we earn only 400 by imports. So that is a huge amount of foreign exchange. So with this initiative, I am sure we can work towards saving that much foreign exchange which we desperately need for other programs in this country. So I am very happy again today for inviting me for this important session. One other thing I thought, I remember reading long time back somewhere that initially coffee was cultivated in shaded areas. And also the coffee cultivated under shade was considered better coffee than the coffee cultivated under the sun. However, and also even the crop yield is better under the shade than in clear areas if you do the plantation without fertilizers. If you do the plantation without fertilizers, you get better yield under the shade than under the sun. However, when you use fertilizers, I read that somewhere that when you use fertilizers, effect of the sun is important, and if you grow coffee with fertilizers, the cleared areas or use of the sun increases the yield. So I think that is where we are now, since we are thinking about commercial products. So we do that under cleared areas and fertilize the coffee plantation under the sun so that we can get very high quality, very high yield. So therefore we need to worry about this fact as well, because I remember reading again somewhere that to produce 1 kilogram of coffee, you need about 25,000 liters of water. To produce 1 kilogram of coffee, you need about 25,000 liters of water. So this is a significant amount, but it is usually done under rainy weather. So we don't have to water them, but rain will take care of it. However, these are things that we need to consider. When you replant coffee, various aspects need to be considered, and the effect of fertilizers on soil, which is a problem in Sri Lanka right now. So I am sure this project is under the auspices of our Department of Agriculture, which is full of agricultural experts, and Department of Export Agriculture. I am sure they will take care of all these negative effects that I mentioned and make this a very positive contribution to Sri Lanka in many ways than economic ways. People will probably get to coffee, and when we were small, we drink coffee only if there is a stomachache, or if you want to stay overnight studying for an exam. But coffee is very much more than that. Very much more than that. I got to know coffee a lot when I was studying in foreign countries. So details about coffee. So coffee has a lot more to offer to Sri Lankan community, but with caution, if you develop this program, I'm sure this will be a very big export product for Sri Lanka, and which will add to the Sri Lankan economy. Thank you very much again for inviting me as well as initiating this important area of Sri Lankan export agriculture and Sri Lankan agriculture, and I wish all the best for this project in the future years to come. Thank you very much.